So today's video is going to be on one finger jamming on Studio One using sample one, MIDI clips and audio clips. Alright, this one is fairly straightforward, so if you're brand new to Studio One and you're learning the ropes, this shouldn't be that hard for you. Studio One's easy enough as it is. But yeah, this is handy. This is a good time saver for anyone making maybe some nice mellow house grooves, using a lot of piano and good vibes and stuff. So what I'm going to do, run you through exactly how you can do this trigger with one finger. Okay, as you can see on the screen, I've just laid down some chords in a few MIDI clips. Now I'll play the chords for you. Now what I want to do is I want to trigger them on my MIDI keyboard by just pressing one note. So the easy way to do this is to bounce each individual part as an audio clip, and then we're going to use that in sample one, which is the sampler in Studio One. Okay, now I've already pre-done this to make it easy and save you a lot of time. So what I've done is I've selected all of my MIDI clips and I've bounced them to a new track. So if you press Alt, Command and B on a Mac, it's going to bounce to a new track. Okay, so if I was to do it here, Alt, Command and B, you can see it bouncing, and there you go. So it's bounced it to a new individual track and it's separated each note. So you can still play the parts. They still come as clips. It's just now they're audio and you can manipulate them on sample one. So let's undo that one. We're going to use the clips that I've done already, exactly the same. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull up a sample one. Now I've got a sample one here, but I've already bounced the track down. So I tell you what, the easiest thing would be to delete this information here. And actually, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll go to a new sample one. I'll keep that one open because it's got my plugins on there. So sample one, drag down, and you're presented with this window. Okay, now I'm on sample 1, 2 because my other one is already still open, so don't watch that. Yours will be sample 1. So what you're going to do, drag over your audio clips, which is your piano, drag them down, and it's going to load samples into sample 1. Now to trigger them direct for one key on the keyboard, you're going to come to the first one and you're going to see that it's on a root note C, so C3. So what I want to do is where it says low C and high C, you're just going to change them to C3. So now that note is only playing on C3. Same again with the next one, is D3. D3 and D3. Now when you drag in various samples or multiple samples into sample one, it does auto separate them on a 2-note separation, but just for this video we're going to separate it just for one note. Okay, so as you can see, the next one should be an E3. As you can see up here, E3, 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 so that one's alright. Next one, it's got an F3, F3 and an F sharp 3, so we're just going to change that to F3. And the next one is going to be G3, G3, and change that to G3. So now we've got all of our notes from sample 1 and they should all be playing on my MIDI clip here. So I'm going to select, let's get my keyboard. Okay, let's have a look. So as you can see, it's very choppy, it's very kind of old school house. So what I'll try and do, instead of me playing it on live, you can just use the pencil tool. So I've got the first little riff down there. So what I'm going to do is each half bar I'm going to just push up to the next note, okay? Let's make all our notes 100%. So now I've got a riff going on here. I want to go back to sample 1, and I'm just going to mess around with the release to get kind of a more realistic piano rather than this choppy sound, okay? First thing I want to do before I do that is I want to click Edit All. So click Edit All and then Monophonic. Edit All is self-explanatory. You're editing all the notes. Monophonic is so the notes don't overlap each other, so you're only pressing one note at a time to hear your chord, okay? So now my riff's there. I can bounce this as a audio track if I want. If I just click on the track, press Control. If I move over to transform to audio track, what it's going to do, it's going to give me options to render any inserts that I have on the track, as in plugins, so that it wipes the plugins off, but it prints it onto the next audio track. Or it's going to preserve the instrument track state, which is keeping the instrument fresh, so if I want to go back and change and edit, but taking it away when it bounces the track. Then we've got remove instrument completely as well. Obviously that's to take that away, and obviously the auto tail is self-explanatory as well. So let's click OK. You can see what we got there. We've got the audio clip and we've got the MIDI data embedded into that as well. We've got a little tail at the end with a nice curve. So now it sounds like this. If I was to undo that, it's going to bring everything back. So what I want to do now is I want to go to my original sample 1 and sample 1 number 2. Now you can see these plugins. I've done this for the other clip, so I'm going to drag these over and let's see how this sounds with the plugins on now. Now I want to change this delay because this is clashing, so let's fix this. Alright, that sounds a bit better. So if you want to print that now, it's got all the effects, as you can see, on the channel. Now I want to print my MIDI data, turn it into an audio file, wipe all them plugins, but make sure that it's printed onto the audio file that they're going to bounce in. It's saving CPU. So what I want to do is roll over to my track there, Control, click, transform to audio. Leave all of these ticked so I can always go back, and it's going to render all the inserts. As you can see, the channel strip is clean and it's still got my MIDI data there if I want to go back, and obviously the wave has been bounced and put into place. Let's have a listen. Now obviously if you're not happy with the delay or you're not happy with the reverb, you can always just control click, transform to instrument track, and it will go back. You can do your thing and then boom, bounce again. Let's hear how this sounds with a loop. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my other videos for more, check me out on social media, and I'll see you in the next one.